everybody, this is James.
Marco.
Nabil.
Yeah, Mikey.
And this is the Movie Pals podcast number 228. Today we're doing a review of Evil Dead Burn, as well as reviewing Marco's pick for the Action Vault. Let's get into it.
Where's the wedding ring?
Alice, you were his wife. Why aren't you wearing it? I'm not sure.
Did you sell it?
No, of course not.
You get a good price.
I really think we should do this another time.
No, now's the best time.
Will's looking down on us from above.
From above. He's down below.
Okay, Evil Dead Burn. It's currently sitting at 71% on Rotten Tomatoes with an 81% audience score. And the summary is, after the loss of her husband, a woman seeks solace with her in-laws, as one by one they transform into Deadites. She comes to discover that the vows she took in life survive even death. This has a runtime of an hour and 50 minutes. This is directed by Sebastian Vanacek, who also did Infested in 2023. It is written by Florent Bernard, who also did Meet the Leroys in 2024, and it's also written by Sebastian Vanacek. This is based on characters created by Sam Raimi and has a budget of $20 million. It is currently sitting at a box office of $40.7 million worldwide, and it was released on July 10th, 2026 in theaters. This stars Sohila Yaqub as Alice, Randy Wright as Susan, Hunter Doan as Joseph, Errol Shand as Edgar, is Luciana Buchanan as Thea, George Pular as William, and Maud Davey as Polly. So let's start off by going over some quick impressions. What were your expectations going in? What is your current Evil Dead favorite film? And just brief thoughts on the movies and how your theater experience was. And we'll start with Marco.
My expectations, I was sort of just expecting it to kind of pick up from the previous Evil Dead film directly. That's kind of like my first impression. I thought it was okay, truthfully. But before I get into that, I'll tell you what my favorite Evil Dead movie is. Probably just the original Evil Dead. I know a lot of people like Army of Darkness, but I kind of like the original the best of all of them that I've seen. I just think it has like the perfect balance of like ridiculousness and horror at the same time. That's just my opinion. I think Army of Darkness gets a little too silly for me at times. Still like it, but that's my preference. I went in blind too. I didn't watch any of the trailers because I kind of like to do that these days as much as possible. Mikey inspired me to do that, actually.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought it was mid for me, truthfully. I actually had trouble kind of recalling this movie. I actually fell asleep 20 minutes in the movie too. I was like, "Oh, did I miss anything?" Oh, nope, not really. As far as, the look, I thought it looked good. That's what I like the most. Its look and the gore.
What about your theater experience? Packed house?
It was I saw it really late. I saw like a 10:50 p.m. showing.
Might explain why you were kind of falling asleep there, Marco.
No, dude, I've seen movies at midnight and stayed awake. I saw Kong versus Godzilla like at midnight once, and I was fine. It was actually kind of barren. It was probably only 8 of us in the theater. Of course, it was a late show, so can't really gauge it from there because not a lot of people see movies that late.
Gotcha. Nabil, your thoughts?
Thoughts of the film? I mean, it wasn't my cup of tea. I'll say that much. But
we kind of knew this going in.
Yeah. No, that's the expectation of this kind of. And I feel like these Evil Dead films in general, I don't know if they're really reboots or retellings from the original ones, like this new series of films. They've gotten overly gruesome for me, and this one especially kind of went to the part where I didn't see a lot of the film between my fingers, just trying to cover my eyes. But there are aspects that I did enjoy, but I feel like from an Evil Dead perspective, like as a part of the overall franchise, I don't feel like it was as solid as the other ones. Like I appreciate, especially the Sam Raimi ones, of course, but even the newer ones, I appreciate some aspects of the storytelling, bringing in the lore. This one went kind of a different version as far as the story is concerned that I don't know if I was really even bought into from just the Evil Dead franchise. My favorite movie of the franchise, we've gone through this before, but my favorite is Evil Dead 2. I like that a lot, and I still think it's the apex of like what this film series is really about, as far as Cabin in the Woods, the book, the comedy. Like it's got a good mix of horror and comedy. That's part of the reason why, like, if this was just a horror film that wasn't a part of the Evil Dead franchise, I'd probably give this a different rating on how, as we kind of talked through it, my perspective might have changed. But the film itself didn't really feel like an Evil Dead film, except for the fact that there's the Deadites in the background. So the lore background there. So to me, it feels more just overly gruesome, and there isn't a lot of that humor there. And I don't know. I wasn't really getting into the Evil Dead vibes that we did, at least with even from the last film and compared to this one. I went an opening night, so it was Thursday night. Saw 7:00 showing. My theater was full. So it was a smaller screening, so it was like, I think maybe 60 people or so, but it was pretty packed. So there was a lot of people in the theater, and everybody seemed to have a good time. You know, I was the one in the corner trying not to see some of it, but for the most part, like, people had a good time in the film. So I can't say that it was a bad experience for many. This is just, I can say it's more me just because of the gore aspect of it. So,
And James?
You know, I really like this movie. So expectations going in, I it's Evil Dead. So I was like, I'm rolling with it. I mean, just to answer some of Neville's stuff, technically there's 3 books in the Army of Darkness. That first book's from that original trilogy. Second one's in 2013, and this last book is from Rise in this movie, moving forward. So theoretically, they're all the same, but it could be its own one-off. Honestly, it's the way
good
to
to
look
know.
at
I
it.
didn't realize that, so that's good to know. Okay.
Yeah, I've been a pretty big fan of Evil Dead, so I like that they're going a little different. And honestly, Will, I think there is aspects of comedy in this movie still, and Rise. So there's moments where it's goofy little things going on, and
There are
part of the
some.
Deadites stuff. It's
I
not
agree.
as
There's
blatant
some of
as you don't
Yeah.
got Bruce Campbell, obviously, but there's some
Sure.
moments that are pretty, over the top. My favorite one probably 2. I like Evil Dead 2, and I actually really like that 2013 remake too. Honestly,
That was good. Yeah.
or I guess not even a remake, just another retelling. But yeah, no, I had a fun time. I think it's one of those kind of love letters to horror fans. Honestly, it's just one of those. It's so over the top. The gore is crazy. It's just you're there. I had a good time. I had a lot of fun. It was. That's what I would say. It's fun. Theater experience went with Mikey. There wasn't a lot of people. Like I said, there were 6 people. 1 guy left. Overall, I didn't think it was going to do as well, but apparently it did all right and about what they were expecting. So that's pretty good. The nice thing is that they don't make these for too much, honestly. So, but yeah, overall, I had a good time.
All right. And for me, yeah, I kind of echo a lot of what James said here. I'm a big fan of like the horror side of this whole series. I do like the comedy part of it, but I do like Rise is my favorite one. Again, it starts getting to the more of the horror aspect of things, gruesome stuff, that kind of stuff. And I think I kind of identify a little bit more for the horror aspect of these than the comedy aspect. Number 2 is great because it kind of blends them. I think the best out of all of them, but I don't mind it not being funny as funny as that one here. As Marco said, the Army of Darkness kind of takes it a little too far with the comedy side. But yeah, I like this one. I thought it was a little slow in the beginning, but as soon as it starts picking up, it picks up and it's just chaos from there on. So I didn't mind this one at all. I thought it was really good, and didn't mind the gruesomeness. And as James said, our theater was kind of dead here, so didn't have much expectations going in. I just feel like it's an Evil Dead movie, so it's going to be good, right? I just like them. So let's talk a little bit about the plot here. Basically, there is a researcher that is part of their family, and he has a note in his attic here about a dagger that could potentially help out the situation with the Deadites. The movie starts kind of like with the Deadites kind of rising because they reveal the dagger, so they kind of get drawn to it. And it kind of goes on from there. It kind of goes on, and they use the family and to kind of locate it. And so what are your thoughts on the movie here? Did you like the pacing? I kind of mentioned a little bit of the pacing here myself, but what did you think about the Deadites? Did you like the story? Did it feel okay to you guys? And I'll just, we'll just kind of leave it open for everybody.
I wasn't sure who the main character was at first. I didn't know if that was a fake out. It was intentional. It felt like it was going to be Joseph, the younger son, at first, because the connection with the grandfather and his whole history. And honestly, I thought that's where the film was going, was they were going to do kind of like a back in time with the grandfather doing this kind of exploration of, finding out about the Deadites and this cult of guys. I can't remember whatever they called it. This group of guys who were there to kind of fight off the evil spirits. It did not go that direction. It was just kind of there for a little bit, and it went to a different film with Alice essentially becoming the main character, which is fine. I think the acting was great, and it was casted really well. Like these people working with these characters were excellent. it just turns to me. It just ended up being a cabin in the woods kind of film, which is not where I thought it was going. You were saying it started out slow, Mikey. I thought it was building up to some kind of bigger story and fleshing out the lore in a different way, and it just ends up tangentially using some of that to get to this dagger situation. And I still don't even know why the Deadites came back, and that might just be more of a me thing, considering what James was saying, that it's Rise is kind of the original first part for this book. So maybe there's just that connection that I don't quite remember, but
I would say
that
it's
kind of
the
threw me
dagger,
off.
right? Theoretically, and
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, they
it's
say
not
that
how
if they
people come
reveal the
Deadites.
dagger, that the
Yeah.
Deadites would be drawn to it. So that's kind of
Yeah.
why they raised up.
So obviously he's like, it's always somebody in these fucking movies like doing something they shouldn't fucking do, right?
Sure,
Like, who in their
yeah.
right mind would be listening to this stuff? I'm like, I'm gonna keep listening. I'd be like, time to destroy these or throw these out,
Right.
Well, I
But
mean, it was something his grandfather was investigating, so it kind of made sense.
Yeah,
It was
kinda
like
continue
Joseph
to
listening
work
to the
and-
tape, right? And then just kind of reading the book.
Yeah.
And then
I
suddenly
kept
that's-
thinking, I don't know if it's a spoiler, but I kept thinking, I was like, is Ash their grandpa? Like,
I was thinking that too.
That's what
But
I was kind of hoping, James.
but it's
to be
not,
honest.
because I don't know if you guys watch the show, but obviously, no, it's not. So I was like, no, it can't be.
No.
So
Well, they said that the grandpa that was with the recordings and stuff, he was the same voice as you hear in the previous movies.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's
oh,
not
it's the
really.
same guy.
Yeah, it's the same guy,
Why does
supposedly,
this
right?
guy have so much connections to fucking everybody now, right?
Same dude. I kind of echo what Nabil was saying. I thought the story and the plot was interesting. It was kind of cool how we get to know a little bit about these people at the beginning, at the club scene and everything, and what leads to the events and everything. The acting was great. I think every single actor delivered really well. I didn't really care for the characters, honestly, as compared to Evil Dead Rise, where I did really connect to the characters. I really was interested in and bought in, and I think that's really what held this movie back for me. Is it was well written. The story was done well, and kind of like Nabil said, it is kind of like a copycat of Cabin in the Woods and sort of like a callback to the first Evil Dead as well too. But I just felt like, I don't know, somewhere in there it just kind of lost its magic. The pacing is also not that good in my opinion as compared to the previous movie. I think the movie runs like 20 minutes too long. It's like an hour and 50 minutes around there. I think it really could have really been like an hour and a half tops. And those 20 minutes I dozed off on are probably the 20 minutes they could have cut out, to be honest. But
You want to
the
sit on
gore,
those horror scenes to make sure you really remember that they happened, and
those
that
were
I didn't
good,
see half the
dude.
film.
The gore is actually some of the stuff that I really liked. I was like, damn, they really went all the way to 11, probably even 12. And I was like, dang, this is intense. I don't know if they used practical effects or not, but it didn't look cheesy at all. It looked very gory. And I was like, man,
It's a good mix.
it's very good quality.
yeah.
I like that.
I'll say, for me though, I actually like the characters. I like the whole kind of family aspect. Like, it's a family that's like hiding a lot of secrets, and there's a lot of things going on, especially with Alice and her relationship with William, that it was hidden, and then the family tries to hide it. And I think that was kind of the message of it all. Like, not everything is what it seems. Like, the perfect family is not always, and you got Joseph, aka fucking D Squad Anton Yelkin, right?
Oh.
And like,
All right.
I knew he wasn't gonna be the main character because I was like, this guy's too much of a pussy, man. Honestly, like, he just can't do things. He's so controlled by his family still, and little
Didn't
things like
pull
that.
that
And Alice is like the person that's like fish out of water, but she's obviously has like a lot of regret and stuff like that too, and she's acting out, and she kind of has to realize that by the end of the film, there's to kind of let go. The whole thing is just, well, which I liked, but and like you guys bring up Cabin in the Woods and stuff and how it's like that. Like, honestly, they're all like that. Outside of Army of Darkness, they're all about somebody trapped in a smaller area. It's probably the budget, honestly, too, because the other one, Rise, is them stuck in first like one floor of an apartment in the garage, right?
Yeah.
So
Track pants to a funeral, huh? Just
oh, I mean, she's a mess, obviously.
Yeah.
I mean, but that's also like the mom is like, hey, like,
No, I
hey,
know, I just-
Susan's like, you're wearing shoes. She's like, I'm comfortable in these,
Hey,
and it's like, well,
she's French, guys. We don't know how
I
they
mean,
are. That's-
it's also like
I
they
don't
would
know why
never
that
have
made
a
me think of James,
construction
too, but it
going
did.
on while it's going on. By the way,
No.
construction. I was like, ridiculous, but
oh, with the with the noises in the background as the service is
Yeah.
going on.
and then like Edgar, the dad, is it's like when that evil entity kind of consumes you and stuff like that. That's how the Deadites really get you, is when you start doing things
Right.
and kind of
The
it's like
grief.
Yeah, the grief, and that's their whole thing. That's very reminiscent of the 2013 movie.
I like the
Where-
Deadites better than the people character. I thought that the Deadites were very interesting. They were very menacing, evil. They said such fucked up things. They did fucked up things.
Which is in line with Deadites all the time, honestly, is how I looked at it. So
Yeah, I feel like this
The
one, though,
evil
they had a
incarnate.
little bit more personality. Like each one was a little different than each other. And I feel like they kind of separated each other a little bit more than before.
yeah.
So
They took on more parts of the previous person.
Yeah. And also they lead into what made them such terrible people.
Yeah.
I like that.
well, I also think you guys kind of mentioned like Rise versus this one here. I feel like the Rise, they feel more like a family. There's some conflict there, obviously, but
well, yeah,
they
because
kind of
they
feel
like
like they're
each
together.
other.
Right, yeah. This whole family and
This
maybe
family
why it's
doesn't
harder
like
to
each
connect
other
with.
at all. Yeah,
Yeah,
fuck
they don't
Yeah,
like
true.
each other. None of them
They
like
fucking
any of the
hate
other people.
Alice, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so it's a different aspect, and I think it does take away a little bit of the connection you would have with the characters. So, and just talking about the characters, you guys kind of went into a little bit here. So I'll just kind of leave it open here. Does anybody have any specific character they'd like to talk about a little bit more, or talk about your favorite Deadite, anything like that?
I loved Polly, the grandma. She's great. She was the comedy for me. You know, she
Yeah,
is
the
no, that's, I was
comedic
saying that to
moment.
James last.
Yeah.
When the movie ended, I was like, she's kind of the comedy relief in this movie.
She's just like doesn't really know what's going on around her, but she knows that she needs to be attended to, and it's hilarious.
It's very
I like
reminiscent of
Edgar,
like
the dad. I thought he was very menacing. It was very interesting to see him like just go on a full rager.
I mean, honestly, I've never seen any of these characters in any movie before, so it was kind of cool seeing like just like the original Evil Dead. So they're all unknown people, so it's nice to use them toward like something like this, and I think that's why, like Nabil said and Marco said, like you get really good acting out of these people.
I like Alice as well too, the main character. I think she had probably the best performance in the movie, of course, being the main character, so to speak. And man, being the fish out of water, kind of like James said, I think she really leaned into that in her performance and stuff. There was a lot of facting, as Nabil puts it, face acting. And
You get a lot of that. Like you can definitely tell she's not wanted there.
Yeah.
Like really early on, it's like, oh damn! I was like, damn, read the room, like get out of there.
Yeah.
Like, you don't need to kick in this. Obviously, Joseph didn't keep the house up, right? I was like, God damn, Joseph. Anything else you want to fuck up?
even those scenes right when they're eating right after the service, and you can tell like she's just not all there because all this shit just happened to her and she's still traumatized.
Yeah, I actually like Thaya. Like after she converts to a Deadite, I just feel like she had like a lot of like unique things to do. She's like making fun of the guy, and she's up on the ceiling at one point. And, like there's just she had a lot of dynamic things that happened while she was a Deadite. So I thought it was pretty nice as far as just something other than the dad. But the dad is like so intimidating, just standing there. He didn't have to do anything to really be intimidating. And then there's the whole situation with the dog too, and that was traumatizing in many different ways.
Oh, I know. I was like, good God.
Yeah. So there's a lot of good stuff there.
I mean, there's a scene with him and Susan where they like kiss each other, and it's disgusting, dude.
Yeah.
It's like you got a little something there on your lips. Just to let you know.
Well, we talked a little bit about the horror and gore, but did you guys have a favorite scene or favorite gory moment, I guess?
I don't think it's that gory really, well, to a point, but there is that scene where they're on the walls and the camera is spinning and turning with like along with the characters. I thought was really fucking awesome and really well done.
Is that when Joseph's like fighting people off? I really like that hectic like one shot where Alice is like crawling and trying to hide, and it's just chaos in the house, and like his head bursts through and he's like, find the dagger, and then it's just like, oh, everyone's getting caged right now, dude.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, the dishwasher scene's good too, by the way.
That
We
dishwasher
always
one
give
is
it away
good.
though.
Yeah, that's in the trailer, but
I like the car scene a lot, even though that was pretty gruesome. Like just how that was being shot and like the way it was so, it's almost like a close quarters fight. The way like all three of them were kind of in there, and then just seeing how much of a bitch Joseph is in that film.
Yeah.
Like poor Thea didn't even like deserve any of everybody in this film. She's the least deserving of what happens to her, and she becomes like one of the top
Again,
Deadites here. But
Couldn't pull that trigger.
yeah,
she calls him out on it too. Like when
yes.
there's a scene, oh, no hesitation, but when you're dad, I'm like, oh, it just kind of a little bit, yeah.
Burn.
For me, as I like just the cold opening. It's not really a cold opening, I guess. It kind of leads into other stuff, but like that whole on the lake
fishing
kind of scene.
Yeah, the lake,
the whole
that was
fishing
good.
scene was crazy.
That's
and
brutal,
supposedly
dude.
that's the girl from Rise as well, right?
Is it?
think
I
so.
wasn't
It's
sure.
supposed to be the
But-
blonde chick from Rise. So,
that's cool.
From what I was reading,
That's
so it
what
kind
I
of ties it in
assumed.
again.
Okay, I couldn't
Oh,
figure
that's
that
cool.
out.
That makes
So, yeah, I
sense
thought it
because
was
she's
pretty
still
cool.
possessed, right?
Yeah. So
Oh.
she started the chain to the next movie, and then kind of starts it all over again. So we talked a little bit about effects already here. So what about like as far as like the different vibe or the tone of the movie? I think James, you kind of mentioned it a little bit already. But how did this one feel to like the originals? Did you like the difference that it made?
Yeah, it's different. Like I said, the Rise in this, I kind of put together, and it keeps that really kind of dark tone to everything, where it's pretty drab. There's nothing looks nice in this fucking movie, honestly. To the point where it's just like, man, this is depressing. Like, this is not a pick me up film at all. Like, honestly, the last like 3 Evil Deads have not been pick me up films.
Ever since the 2013 one, right?
Yeah, ever since that one where I was shit my pants when a girl's cutting her face open. It's just ugly. It just makes you not want. It's like the whole time I was just like, I'm glad I'm not there. So because the place is so. And once again, like, dude, how are you living in this place? Or like, I guess he's just staying there. Technically, Joseph was just staying there and stuff like that.
He wasn't doing any upkeep to the place. Yeah,
No, he even says he's like, oh yeah. I'm like, Joseph, you're terrible, dude.
that's like a 10-year situation. Like that house is rotting. So
Yeah, which also represents the family, right? In a way.
Yeah.
So it's just like that. And then it's definitely a Marco, like, curl toed kind of on the carpet kind of thing. You're not wearing your socks afterwards of that one.
No, throwing
Is it
that
his
shit
normal?
away too.
Is this his normal place to live though, or is that like a vacation home kind of thing?
It's a
Yeah.
vacation home, yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
it was
okay.
given to him.
You guys have anything else before we get to ratings and spoilers?
I do want to talk about a few things, but I'll talk about it in spoilers.
Okay, yeah. So let's do our ratings and let's see if we. How would you buy this movie here, or maybe you wouldn't buy it, right? So you're gonna buy it on the 4K disc, digital. You're just waiting for streaming, or maybe you just never wanted to do it. So we need your rating, and how would you watch this in the future? And we'll start with Nabil.
well, having the conversation, I do appreciate a little bit more of this film. So I'm going to give this 3 stars. It's not a film I'd want to revisit, though, to be honest, unless I was trying to complete this. So if I had to watch it on something, I mean, visually speaking, the film looks great, but I'd be fine watching it on streaming, to be honest. Like, I'm not out there trying to get a 4K for this. It's not not a film for me, but I can appreciate the storytelling and the kind of art direction of the film. It was different, but too gory for me.
James?
I give it 3.5. Actually, like I said, it's one of. I had a lot of fun. I can't deny that it is one of the weaker entries into it, especially with I think Rise was really good. And like I said, I really like 2013's one. It's just I wish they had branched off a little bit more with that, but I mean, I'll get it digitally probably. I'll probably buy it digitally. I don't think I'm going to add it physically to my collection, but I already have all the others in digital. Might as well, right?
There we go. Add it, but not physically.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
I see. I see. Marco?
Put the gun down, Mike.
I'm kind of with the bill. I give it 3 stars, not because of the gore. I actually appreciate the gore and the violence in it. That was done really well, mainly because the story and the pacing. And I would probably stream it, but I'd definitely see Evil Dead Rise before I see this one again.
Yeah, and I gave this one 3.5 as well. I kind of echo a lot of what James mentioned, maybe because we talked about it a little bit afterwards. But no, I really like the gore in it, and I didn't think it was the strongest storyline out of some of them that we have, but it still was pretty good overall, and I enjoyed it. And I'd probably buy this on digital. I buy most things on digital. I only buy like the cream of the crop and on physical media because I just don't want to take up the space on my side here. So let's go ahead and get into spoilers. So if you haven't seen the movie, don't want to kind of get into some of the stuff here, kind of skip ahead and to our action vault, but on to spoilers. So what are you guys' thoughts on, the kind of the ending here where, Alice, she finds the dagger, she's kind of fighting all the families, and she ends up having a face-off with William. And some information is kind of leaked out as far as like William wasn't necessarily the greatest husband. So there's kind of a whole like family aspect of like, I think James kind of alluded to it a little earlier here, where they're all kind of hiding some truths. They're all kind of have some secrets as a family. So some of that stuff comes out as far as like generational stuff here. So what are you guys' thoughts on how this ended? Did you guys like it or what's going on. I'll kind of leave it open for everybody.
Yeah, she basically fought Vecna at the end. It was kind of cool, right?
I don't understand how.
I thought too,
I'm not,
man. I
I'm
was
not
like, oh,
getting
man.
that. I couldn't get that concept of. I feel like I missed something. Why is it that William is like this Burning Man? He didn't technically get cremated yet or incinerated, so I don't understand.
He literally burned to death in the bill.
Yeah.
So he's just okay. So that's really what because he burned it.
Then-
Okay,
There's a
They
reason
burned
it was a
him at the
close.
beginning.
It was a close casket for a reason, Bill.
I see. All right.
He literally caught on
Because
fire.
I was just like trying to think, like, when did he was he on fire? I guess he was in the car. Yeah.
Yeah,
okay,
it flipped, and then it was dripping on him, and then the head
Yeah.
tore off. It was talking to him, then he burned alive. For God's
Then
sake,
he burned alive. Okay.
I thought it was a cool effect, by the way. The whole like
Yeah, it is.
him, and then I was hyped. I thought obviously they're teasing the chainsaw, and I was like, "Fuck, that would be dope."
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah.
But once again, I mean, I get it. I know why he didn't. So I was like, okay, cool. But I looked at Mikey and I was like, fucking chainsaw when it happened. So
Well, they did have the
But-
circular saw one, right? So they did use it a little bit.
yeah, she gets something.
Tree trimmer.
I liked it though.
Good
And like I
reach.
said, it just added to the whole point. It's just like she's basically like getting her comeuppance, right? And like this is her revenge and taking his ass out. It was awesome how he just died like a bitch too. So
And burning down their shitty legacy, both physically and metaphorically.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean that property probably
Yeah.
is decently priced too at that point. So honestly, did her a favor.
I mean, maybe could have saved her some research for the future, but if she didn't burn down all the historical
Well,
findings that he
the
had.
Necronomicon can't get burned anyways, right? Theoretically. Actually, they don't even have the Necronomicon.
Yeah, it was
you
just
don't
the,
see the
just the
book.
dagger
I
that
just
was
thought
there,
about
right?
that. Never
Yeah.
mind. I
Yeah.
take that back. Sorry about that. Yeah. It's just papers and research on it. So
Mhm.
it was funny. The knife was like a shiv. Like
Yeah.
a
Yeah, it was so
Basically.
small, right? I was like, wait,
fucking
what?
shank.
That was funny,
Dude,
where they were stabbing each one, trying it out. I was like, "That's funny."
Yeah, it sucks
Fucking
because
stubbiest one, dude. I was
it
like,
reminded
oh
me
my
of
God.
Last Crusade, how theoretically
Carpenter's
it's not
mug?
going to be
Yeah.
it's
Oh,
not going
yeah.
to be the most like elaborate because she's trying all these things and he's like wrong one, and I was like, I like that part though.
yeah,
I did like when the grandma, but was seeing want to talk about the gory scene. I liked when she was starting to cut off her leg to get out of
Oh,
the
yeah.
thing.
Oh,
I thought
yeah.
that, dude, that shit was. I was cracking up though because it's hilarious because she's trying to cut it off hella fast, and she's. And then honestly, after that, I was like, where did the grandma go? Which is
Yeah, I
a
was
mid-credit
thinking the same.
scene. So I was like, oh, there it is. I was like, okay.
Well, talking about the mid-credit scene, we kind of talked about that one a little bit here. That's just the grandma is like literally like just crawling down the road, and she takes out a person trying to help her out, I guess, and so
okay.
it kind of continues it out. And then also there's a post-credit scene after that as well, where Alyssa Sutherland's character Ellie is coming back because there's a girl that reads her name off of a urn. Yeah. So, what are you guys' thoughts on those two scenes?
That's cool. Connected it, right?
I kind of give a little bit more lore to it, right? A little
She's
bit more connection.
creepy, creepy as fuck, by the way.
Yeah.
she straight up
Yeah.
kills a kid. So that's,
Yeah, she straight
that's
up
something.
kills a kid. I was like,
Yeah.
oh my God. I was
Yeah,
like, that little
dude.
girl didn't do nothing to nobody.
Mhm.
For real. It kind of
I
helps
did think-
kind of connect all these, even though they could technically stand alone, but having those kind of loose connectivities, I think helps.
It was
Yeah,
funny.
it
One
kind
of
of
their
opens up for the next movie too, right? Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, one thing I did like the guy that worked at the fucking funeral home, and he was like dancing and rapping to himself while he was
Oh,
about to
This is the crematorium. Yeah.
yeah. I was just like, and he's like doing all these things, and he turns around, the fucking dad's there. I was like, whoops.
Dude, just the
He's like-
facial features on the dad on that actor, dude. It's just like they're perfectly creepy.
Dude, hell, he's
Even
super
before he was a
intimidating.
deadite, right? They're still
Yeah.
creepy.
Yeah.
Dude, the look gives Alice is just like, bitch, what are you doing here? Like, what are you wearing? What are you wearing? Just like Marco. Track pants, huh?
The track pants, the shoes.
Yeah. No, cool. You gonna work out afterwards too?
You mind taking those feelers off?
That is the vibe. That is the whole vibe, right?
Oh man.
It's already been kind of coming out that there is an Evil Dead Wrath coming out in 2028. You guys have any expectations or thoughts on the next sequel?
I'm pretty sure Ellie's back, right?
Looks like it, yeah.
Maybe.
That should be
or maybe
interesting.
not. Who
The
knows?
grandma should be in it too, right? Just chasing down the the girl.
Maybe. I mean,
Well,
I wouldn't.
I think she got a new body now, right? The
Yeah,
Deadites
Mikey,
jumped
now-
to the next person.
Now we know how it passed on, so now we can save 20 minutes of that and just get right to the meat of the story. No, I just hope they keep it tight on the next one and continue this level of gore and intensity, because I think that's really what makes the movie and this series stand out.
All right. So with that being said, let's move on to our Action Vault. So welcome to the Action Vault here. If just to fill everybody in, every week one host is randomly selected, followed by one of the greatest action stars of the 80s and 90s. At least 10 of them only. Could we have put more? Probably. We probably could have done more. But hey, we couldn't make it 1,000 movies. So 3 movies are randomly drawn. The chosen host picks one, and once it's chosen and reviewed, it enters the Action Vault forever. So last week, Marco drew Kurt Russell. His 3 choices were Escape from New York, Breakdown, and Soldier. So Marco picked Soldier from 1998. So Soldier is removed from the pool, and Escape from New York and Breakdown go back. Let's get into reviewing this one.
His training had prepared him for anything except this. Now, on a remote planet, a community of outcasts faces extermination.
I want that planet secured by 0600.
Well, what about our position?
They will be officially classifiable as hostiles.
Find weapons and prepare to fight.
You have to organize this.
For this soldier, it may be too late to feel human.
How do you know they'll be back?
Because they're soldiers like me.
But it's never too late to be a hero.
I'm going to kill them all.
Soldier, released in 1998, sitting at a whopping 19% on Rotten Tomatoes with a 44% audience score. The premise of this movie is a soldier trained from birth is deemed obsolete and dumped on a waste planet where he is reluctantly taken by a community of defenseless, stranded wayfarers. The runtime for this one is 1 hour and 39 minutes, and it's directed by Paul W.S. Anderson, who also did the legendary Mortal Kombat from 1995, Event Horizon in 1997, Resident Evil in 2002, and Alien vs. Predator 2004. Written by David Webb Peoples, who also wrote Blade Runner in 1982, Leviathan in 1989, Unforgiven in 1992, and 12 Monkeys in 1995. The movie had a budget of $60 million and had a box office of $14.6 million, making it quite the flop financially.
Yeah, cue the sound, Marco.
Once again, released in 1998 on October 23rd. Movie stars the great Kurt Russell as Sergeant Todd, Jason Scott Lee as Kane, Jason Isaacs as Colonel Meekum, Connie Nielsen as Sandra, Sean Perwee as Mace, Gary Busey as Captain Church, Michael Chiklis as Jimmy Pig. We're going to go with first impressions here of this movie. We're going to see where did this movie stand before today, and have you ever heard of it? Have you heard of it and never watched it? Was it a childhood favorite randomly? And have you been meaning to watch it? So we'll start with Mikey.
Yeah, I've definitely seen this movie a couple times. It's not something I kind of frequent, and it's been a long time since I've watched it. I always get this one, and I know we kind of talked about it last week or last pod that I always got this movie confused with Universal Soldier, which is definitely not this movie. It's a completely different movie, but just because of the name alone, basically, it kind of just feels like I just thought this movie was the other one and vice versa. So I didn't really remember which movie this one was. And so I didn't really have that much expectations going in because I didn't remember which movie it was. But yeah, so I mean, I had seen this movie a couple times after I started watching. I was like, oh yeah, it's this one. So
nice. What about you, James?
I've never seen it actually. This first time watching it, so I recall seeing this at like Hollywood Video a lot. I know the poster quite well, so I've seen the poster a lot. So but I've never seen it, and it wasn't one of those movies like I gotta watch Soldier one day. You know, I had no idea what it was even about. So expectations going in, I didn't even watch a trailer for it, so I went in completely blind. So I didn't know what to expect.
What about you, Nabil?
Oh, I've seen this film a couple dozen times. So I saw this a lot as a kid. It was a point of time where I was living abroad, and my uncle owned a video rental store, and he would, every time he'd come and visit, he'd bring a bunch of screeners, and Soldier was one of them. And so we couldn't see a lot of American movies where I was at. So this was just a film I'd see every other day, just playing on the VCR over and over again. So I remember this film quite a bit. I've seen this. I wouldn't say it's a childhood favorite, but it was definitely a part of my childhood. Seeing it so many times. So yeah, I was very, very familiar with everything that was going on here.
Right on. I've heard of the movie, and kind of like Mikey, I would get it confused with Universal Soldier as well. And then just come to realize, no, actually, I've never watched this movie at all. So obviously, it was never a childhood favorite of mine. And definitely been meaning to watch it, especially because I heard of the loose connectivity between this movie and Blade Runner. And that always piqued my curiosity. So just never got around to it. So once we got the opportunity to do this segment, I was like, well, here's my chance. Might as well drag all the boys into this mess with me. And didn't really have any expectations going in. I just went in blind, never seen a trailer to the movie either, and was just gonna, take it as face value as I watched it. So that being said, let's go into some quick impressions and some brief thoughts of the movie. Let's go backwards. So I'll start with Nabil. What were your quick impressions of the movie?
It's basically what I remember it being. I liked the story. The film itself, you could tell, had plans of being a bit grander than it was. They scaled it. It seems like they really did scale it back, but I liked a lot of the kind of practical effects that they put in over here. It's very machismo in the sense of like, I think this is the most stoic I've seen Kurt Russell, but also he's not quite as like Snake. What's the Snake Plissken?
Plissken.
Plissken,
Yep.
Thank you. Snake. He's not like as badass as Snake, but he's for who he is. He's still, you can tell you don't want to mess with the guy, so you follow through with him. But he also has a good heart, so you like this. I appreciated the character. I like Jason Scott Lee a lot in this film, and he's pretty yoked in this and is a badass too. But between them, like everything kind of around them, especially around Kurt Russell, didn't feel like it brought much to the overall arc of the story. Like, I think it obviously changes Kurt Russell's character a bit, but I don't think it really brought much to like the plot of the movie, especially considering some people die, and it's like, okay, we've moved on. so I think that, you could tell how minor some characters really are, even though they're supposed to make a big impact to them. So that's why I say, like, I think the scope of the film is smaller than it probably really wanted to be. But overall, I thought it's a pretty straightforward plot. Soldier gets kicked out and replaced, and he's just kind of stranded until he finds his place and shows that, he's actually better than what he's trying to be replaced by. So not too bad.
Yes. James, what are your thoughts?
I had a fucking blast watching this, guys. I didn't think so. Like, first 10 minutes, I was like, oh, fuck. But then, man, I don't know why, but I think these movies work. That's why I'm glad we're doing these. Like, this is like reminds me of a lot of childhood movies we used to watch back in the day. And yeah, it doesn't make a lot of sense, but I'm coming here with like a different mindset with these movies, obviously, because a lot of these are going to be like this, honestly. And it worked for me, man. Kurt Russell he says maybe 5 lines in the whole movie. He's kind of like a man with no name. He's just like this silent protagonist, and my cousin's in it, Kane, Jason Scott Lee.
I kept thinking of that.
Dude, that's been a running joke for like decades, by the way. I'm like, I even sent a photo. I'm like, fuck you doing in this movie, bro? Like, they look so fucking alike. It's insane. It was fun. The action's crazy. Kurt Russell gets weird with Sandra a bit. Connie Nielsen's beautiful. She's always been gorgeous. By the way, any of these movies, we're probably going to do full spoilers, so don't, there's moments where I'm like, is he just waiting for Mace to fucking die so he can swoop in?
That's kind of what it feels like, right?
Right? I'm like, man, he's already set his target.
Yeah, it's like he's never felt a woman's touch, and it's just like there's a lot of creepy moments where he's just staring at her. But you know what? It added to the charm. I liked it though. We get a lot of explosions, a lot of people sweating. It's just, I don't know. It worked for me. I actually had a really good time watching this.
Mikey, what about you? What were your first impressions of the movie?
I didn't think it was the greatest movie ever. I think I remembered it being a little better than it was.
Okay, cool. On to I'm just kidding.
But that said, I did have fun with it, right? I mean, like James was saying, you really can't like take these movies super serious. If you do, you're not going to like these. You got to have a little bit of fun with them. You got to kind of have an open mind with some of these things too. The action was good. Is it over the top? Sure. There's a one-liners kind of crazy. Absolutely. So you have some fun with these kind of movies. I thought it was a little slow in the middle, But I get what they were trying to do. They're trying to, kind of build up his character from this soldier to something a little bit different. So, but I actually like a lot of the Gary Busey, Jason Isaac scenes where they're together. I don't know why, they just work for me. Just those two dynamics together. One guy's like over the top in one direction, the other one's over top in the opposite direction, and it just kind of worked for me. So I like those two characters when they were on the screen together.
Mainly because Gary Busey is probably like not acting. That's really him.
That's just him, dude. He's fucking crazy, dude.
Yeah. I'm kind of in the same boat with James with this one. I really enjoyed watching this one. I was excited to watch it. It didn't really cease to impress. I mean, I was expecting something kind of like to what Nabil described, something that was probably meant to be a little bit grander, but we get like the 90s version of it. And the look of this movie probably today looks like it would probably be like a straight to stream, straight to freaking Blu-ray movie. But I understand for the time and for like the budget it had. It looked good to me for when it came out, and it delivered on what I wanted to see, which is Kurt Russell, be this muscly badass, and also have like the heart of gold that he, didn't know he had. We'll get into the themes later and stuff, but the theme of the movie too, of someone just being programmed their whole life and being deprogrammed simply just by interacting with community, I think has like a big message and says a lot, where it's like, dude, if you just fucking talk to people, maybe you'll just see like not everyone's your enemy and stuff, and maybe your programming was wrong, or not 100% right. So I kind of like that too. And it almost, I know it's kind of two different movies, almost gave me those kind of like Dance with Wolves vibes, where a lost soldier that goes into a community, learns about them, and it's like, oh, these people are actually fucking cool. What the hell am I doing?
You're like
type thing.
Jake Sully with Avatar. What's going on here?
Yeah, basically. And I agree. Connie Nielsen is gorgeous. Yeah, so I understand why.
I was like,
Sergeant
has she
Todd
always
was
just
like,
been pretty? Like, good God, right?
Yeah.
She hasn't been in that many movies, honestly. Looking at it too, I'm like, damn, okay.
Yeah, and I was like, please don't try to hide the accent. It's we like it.
It did pop out a couple of times. Yeah,
a few lines. Yeah.
Yeah. It's cool to see a nice a younger version of Jason Isaacs. I didn't look at the cast or anything aside from Kurt Russell for this movie, so it was kind of nice to see him in this. So with that,
just to talk about the you guys, Nabil and Marco just mentioned that how it should be a little bit grander. From what I read, though, Kurt Russell got hurt in the filming, so the production had to kind of like delay a little bit, and he couldn't do everything they wanted to do. So it probably could have been a lot grander had that not happened. So that might be what held it a little bit back.
I read that part of it. Well, my kid James is like, it doesn't matter.
No, it's just fine. Perfect.
I read that specifically Kurt Russell, he extended the shoot of this film. He delayed it a bit because he wanted to get in like the ideal shape for this. So he spent 18 months getting fit. And so they lost some of the on-site locations that they were trying to shoot because of like some storm.
That makes sense.
So it had to change like how they were, like the placement of how this looked, because he didn't want to take steroids or anything. He's like, no, I'm going to do this naturally. And he apparently didn't do a film for a year and a half because he was just trying to get fit for this. The only film he did between whatever he did before this. So he really was trying to commit to it. Also, we said the budget was $60 million. Another trivia thing I was reading up: $20 million was his part of the.
I'm not
paycheck,
shocked.
the biggest money he's ever made at the time for a film, and so he was a third of the budget, guys. Like he wanted to make sure he earned every dime.
I mean, he looks it too. The dude's like we talked about before the pod. The dude is jacked.
Those guns on him, Jesus, wild.
Just sweating the whole time.
He's
sweating.
He's punching metal, Nabil.
I know, it's pretty dope. That's a pretty good scene.
They're like, he's working out. And I'm like, that's his workout?
So we'll go over the plot here a little bit, because kind of like Nabil had mentioned briefly. So we start off with these young kids who are taking up birth and who are trained from the very start of their life to their adulthood how to be like the perfect soldier in every single way. Loosely remind me of Halo, and I'm like,
I thought
inspired by this.
Yeah, they Padawans became Jedis, but yeah, outside of that,
hardened Jedi.
Kind of, or like the Clone Troopers, which is kind of the same thing. They just from
oh
birth.
my God, George Lucas saw this. He's like, that's what I want.
I know what I'm doing, guys.
Because when this came out, he was still filming episode 1. He was probably like, that's the one. Those are the guys.
We're gonna redirect, boys. We're gonna
Just money, baby. Just oh no, George Lucas cameo. Here we go. Then we go through this montage where we see them like in the training. Those that don't make it get executed very brutally. I mean, they don't show it, but I mean, you hear it. And then they go off on in their training.
Two movies with kids getting killed in the review. By the way, sorry guys.
Also, I don't know how this kid is. Whose fault is it that the kid got fat and was running and got killed? Like that's their fault for letting that
genetics. Genetics. I mean, it's
yeah,
genetics.
Bill,
like,
so
yeah.
maybe he had asthma. I don't know. Anyways, he took a bullet to the head. Okay.
So they go through this rigorous training where they're desensitized the entire time to killing. I mean, they even show them like they're mainly Kurt Russell just shooting through the goddamn hostage to kill the freaking bad guy, which I'll bring up later, by the way. And then eventually you get to the present time and they're about to be replaced by these genetically engineered new soldiers brought to you by Jason Isaacs, Colonel Meekum, and he's saying like these will be like the future. These guys are irreplaceable. Kurt Russell gets disposed of after losing a challenge, and then ends up finding these people, and trouble awaits them because he's arrived, or so the plot tells us, and that's where we are. So, what were you guys' thoughts of that? Did this work for you? We'll leave this kind of open. Were there any plot holes? How was the pacing?
It's kind of like a neo-western in my opinion. Like stranger comes into town, starts rattling things up, like, oh, this is our piece. Now you're bringing danger and stuff. I'm like, okay. So it worked for me. Like I said, I'm shocked it did. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I am shocked it worked.
And
plot holes? I mean, yes, there's a lot of plot holes.
Yes.
He even doesn't he kind of lose his? Did it seem like he kind of lost his memory? Like he was kind of discombobulated and didn't know like what
I mean,
he was.
He kind of like basically like a
flatline.
concussion or something. Like died and then came back alive. So
yeah, kind of. I guess they don't really touch on it too much. It seems like he knows who he is. It's just he more or less doesn't talk a lot, so he doesn't really reveal like this is who I am.
Yeah,
I mean it's tattooed on his face though, which is
you kind of already know. Yeah.
So if they've seen that, but these people came here to kind of escape everyone, and it's like they chose the worst planet. By the way, just let you know.
Yeah. They know that he's a soldier. So and apparently there's history behind what that means, so people are aware of. That he's dangerous or can be dangerous.
I mean, he's done all these campaigns and stuff like that, and then he has some flashbacks to him.
I think and I think it works because we see the severe contrast of like his old life, where it's just nothing but killing, to these people who are basically pacifists. They're farmers, they're scavengers, and you have the scene where he's learning how to garden, and it's wild to him. It's like he's never experienced anything like that. It's crazy to him. He's just like,
put it in
his face? He's probably like, do we kill this thing? What do we do? What do we do? But
I like how he's also attached to the kid a little bit. Like he teaches him how to like defend himself a little bit against the snakes, and like the kid ends up like saving his mom and dad to like make a point about like he learned some stuff from him. So it was just kind of nice that he's a killing machine, but he's like, hey,
that's
I'm also
where
on the
he
soft side.
says, Todd's better than you, Mace.
Basically. But
he's like, you're going to be replaced soon.
Right. Yes.
I know it drags on a little bit when he's with these people at first and learning their ways and everything, but I think it helps also because, like James said, like he says 5 lines probably during the movie. So it's up to them to carry this movie and do the exposition. And I think him being with them for that long and it kind of slowing down helps with the stakes at the end when they're attacked by the Neo soldiers that are coming in, who for, I guess it was a training mission or whatever.
It's because they didn't. Well, I looked it up because I was a little confused myself. It's because they turned it to training mission because technically it's supposed to be an uninhabited planet. So like these people aren't even supposed to be here. So we can test them out on these people and
because they're not really battle ready. They've never or battle tested. They've
never been into battle yet. This is like their first go at it, basically.
Well, yeah, Captain Crunch kind of says, right? He's saying, hey, they've never been in battle before, so that's why he doesn't like them, and they don't have any experience. So this is how they're getting their experience, right?
It was either that or the cocaine was just kicking in really hard for Busey. There are some plot holes, like for instance, in the end, like when he saves everyone, only the kids there at the end, but theoretically, supposedly everyone is on the ship too, right?
Everybody's
but I'm like,
on the ship,
did I miss that scene where Sandra's on that ship too? Like, dude, do you want to maybe fall back on that maybe and show her at the end, or we're just gonna assume everyone's in here? I'm like,
or the rest of the survivors from the camp, because we didn't even see them enter the ship.
They didn't have a lot of time either. between that time that he, kicks Jason Scott Lee's ass and gets to that ship, like with the bomb being planted, there's not a lot of time to get the whole village onto that ship.
I was like, were they waiting in the shadows or what happened?
Right.
I was like, I guess you just got to roll with it. I was like, all right, fuck it.
my main plot hole has to do thematically, which is like I mentioned the training at the beginning. You see them like shoot through the fake hostages to kill their target and stuff. And at the end, when the new soldiers are attacking the village and stuff, the issue is to the old guard that these new soldiers are doing that. I'm like, but that's how you guys. Why do you guys have an issue with that when you guys were doing that? I wish they would have like kind of emphasized that, especially Kurt Russell's character had learned like, oh, that's a fucked up thing to do. We're not going to do that. And then
they never really go back to it, do they?
Yeah, then that makes that antagonism kind of be like, oh, okay, we're not okay. That they're answering to that.
I guess the fact that he's defending them at all is probably just the whole change of heart, because then he's at
Because
least
he has a connection to them now.
Yeah, so I think that's what they were going for. Obviously, not the strongest thing, obviously, but
right. But
anybody else catch like Meekum, like when Kane gets his eye ripped out, basically in the first little training thing that they do it doing. Meekum goes around and says, "This guy is useless," and then he ends up being like the big bad. Like it's like, if he's useless, then why are you still having him fight? Like, what's going on here? Like, it makes no sense.
It's Jason Scott Lee. They're like, he's a martial artist, so I guess we gotta.
And he also, I think he said that their price tag is like 25 million, so they can't really like dispose of him. Like, too
they're
easily.
basically either the precursor or the version of replicants, right? For Blade Runner, like that's what they're supposed to be.
Yeah.
So I mean, he could rebuild an eye.
Which they do from the look of it, or does he have a blind eye? I guess I don't know. It looks like he's got a replacement.
Yeah,
it looks like a replacement eye, truthfully, because they said it would affect his depth of vision, but he seemed okay to me.
He was driving a vehicle, so he was
driving.
Although, does it kind of affect him at the end
with a big goofy tire?
Does it kind of affect him at the end though?
Yeah, maybe he's not the same soldier because of it.
Fight?
Maybe
because he does get fucked up by a sign, for God's sakes.
And
he just stares there, he's like, ah! And then his head's up.
I know we've already talked about some of the characters, but and this is kind of open to anyone. Any thoughts on any of the characters, like Kurt Russell's Todd, Colonel Meekum, Captain Crunch?
I didn't think I was going to like Kurt Russell's character at first, but it kind of grows on you, just like he grows on the people in the community.
A lot of facting.
Yeah,
you're with him. Like,
yeah.
I feel you.
Yeah. He pulled it off pretty well for like a macho action movie. Like, I know it's he just basically has one expression, but still, like, he says a lot with his eyes. Yeah. And I think that goes a long way towards the end, where he doesn't smile, but even still his eyes feel a little softer towards the end, probably because he did like a lot of good deeds by saving these people. But I did like that aspect of his character.
I mean, when he's like banished, he cries for the first time. So
yeah. Oh yeah.
Just saying, like, he shows emotion. He's not just a Terminator.
They weren't fake tears, guys. That was a close up. The tears came down right in his eyes. That's great.
Sean Purwey, who played Mace, I can't remember what else I've seen this guy, and he seemed kind of familiar, but I like the character of Mace. He's trying to redeem this guy and invite him in. It's his idea to keep Todd in the community and teach them their ways and stuff, and it's kind of like a mentor, even though Todd, steals his chick at the end, but whatever. We're going to ignore that. I thought it was really cool that he was, this mentor character that ends up, getting blown the fuck up at the end. But I think he played him pretty well.
Yeah, if you ever watch Gotham, he's Alfred in that. That's where I've seen him.
That's who he is. Okay. Yeah. Yes.
He's just like, hey, Todd, I hope you don't fuck my wife later. So kind of staring at her, kind of weird.
Thoughts on the amazing action? What's your best action scene? Best fight? Most ridiculous moment? Mikey, did you laugh when the leader chick gets blown up because she's trying to stare down the tank?
I laughed too, bro. She's like, huh? RPG to the chest.
Yeah. She's staring down a tank. I'm like, maybe we need to take cover. I don't know.
I'm like, why are you the only one that went up there to check?
Yeah. You don't stare down a tank, just FYI.
Or where Jimmy the Pig almost dies when he's just holding on to the thing.
Combat boots getting like whiffed.
But they have
I
a
really
nice
like-
little mix of action. You know, they got some gunplay, they got some rocket launchers, they got some vehicles, they got some hand-to-hand combat. So they had a nice mix. As soon as they started invading in and doing stuff, they had a little bit of everything. So you couldn't really go wrong. It doesn't matter what action you liked. It was there.
When the new soldiers first invaded, I thought was cool. You get to see them like battle it out with the community. You see them fight back too, which is cool. They don't just go out like bitches. They're just like they pick up the little pea shooters and start shooting back. And I thought that was cool. I wish it would have been more expansive, but you know, I guess with Kurt Russell trying to get in shape, they couldn't really do that. But I thought that was a pretty cool sequence as well.
I like the action scene from where they first introduced Jason Scott Lee going against Kurt Russell's character, and you know they showed the montage of him like them shooting, and then the running was pretty dope. But I really liked when they were up in the chains and fighting, and he was saying, you know, it's not a fair fight. You need to add on more soldiers, and it was 3 against 1 essentially. That was pretty dope scene, just to kind of introduce how badass they were and how hard that fight was going to be, and then just really not knowing where everybody was ending up and actually seeing a few of them get killed. So that one always stuck out to me. I think it was a more unique fight scene of just them being up in the air in the chains and going at it after each other.
Those chains really, yeah.
I like that fight scene between Todd and Kane is dope. I like that a lot. It's such a classic fucking Macho Man fucking fucking going at it, right? And I'm like, oh my god, they're just going at it. And him like right before that second run where they come back with all the tanks and stuff, when he's just grabbing every gun, everything that he can, man. That's like the Macho Man like part for me, that where he tells you, he's like, I'm gonna kill them all. And I was like, oh, nice, okay.
Just I'm gonna kill them all, sir.
Yeah, keeps calling
that.
Sir.
That was by far the best one-liner.
Oh yeah, hands down, and he's just sweating profusely. Goddamn arms are sweating. So,
thoughts on the effects of this movie? Do you guys feel like they stood up?
Very of the time, but not bad. I think they do kind of hold up for the most part. Yeah, I like.
Yeah, I didn't have a problem with it. Honestly, I didn't think it looked too bad, because sometimes you get to the CG in the late '90s where they start using more of it, and it's like, ooh, this is pretty apparent. But this wasn't bad to me. So
yeah, looked good to me. Yeah,
I agree. I think the practical effects is what helped this movie kind of age a little too well. You get like the big James vehicles, the tires. I like those. They look kind of unique.
It's good for the terrain, Marco.
Yeah. Then the missiles on the sides, I was like, all right, that's kind of new. Okay.
They definitely were trying to sell some toys. Dude, I think they thought they were going to get some sequels out of this movie,
They were saying that they were going to, if it had done well, there was going to be a sequel to it. But
yeah, I could see that happening.
So all in all, do you guys feel like this movie holds up for you? Is it underrated? Should more people watch this one? Or who do you think this is for? Kurt Russell fans, sci-fi fans?
So I didn't really get a sci-fi vibe from this. I know it kind of could just be on Earth, and I feel like it wouldn't change anything. So I don't know if that you guys feel the same way, but I didn't see like the space travel, the whole sci-fi kind of stuff here. There's no like laser beams and that kind of stuff. So things to me didn't really feel sci-fi, but
I mean, the soldiers,
military action, definitely.
They have like 3 or 4 shots of the ship like landing or flying. I think that's pretty much it. That kind of
at the end too, when he's on the ship, right? Yeah, I think it's super underrated. I feel like more people should have watched this damn movie. Honestly, I guess I'm a fan of Soldier from 1998. Who would have known, right? Because like I still like that. Honestly, having that little sci-fi, just even a little taste of it, Mikey, though, I think kind of makes it a little different. If it was all on Earth, I think it would have been a little bit of a different kind of movie. Honestly, I like that it's in like this desolate, barren planet, which is, you know, Arizona or some shit.
That's what I'm saying. Though. It just felt like a wasteland from Earth. It didn't really seem like anything crazy.
This is kind of for you, Nabil. Your viewing back then versus now. Do you feel like this still holds up, or do you feel a little different about it?
To be honest, most of it is exactly. I'm surprised at how much of the plot I understood when I was a kid compared to now, because it all kind of clicked for me. I was like, man, this is a very simple plot. If as you know, like 10-year-old Nabil understood this pretty well. So I'd say that from that perspective, the film is exactly as I remember it. The only thing that was different is that some of the plot holes were more apparent. So I was like, oh, why would they have done this? But otherwise, yeah, I think the film itself still, to what James is saying, it's a worthy watch just for the acting. All the actors do pretty well in this. Kurt Russell is pretty awesome as a soldier and very believable as his character. Like I would have been fine to continue to see him do more sequels as this character and see what else would have happened. It's kind of just another one in his big list of iconic characters, but obviously we never got that. But I think also the fact that it's just a very simple and straightforward plot. Like he was abandoned, and now he's just trying to survive, and maybe getting a little revenge at the same time. But he never dishonored himself. He did what he had to do to take care of his new family.
I think it's a bit underrated. I don't think it's as terrible as the Rotten Tomato scores make it out to be. But it's just my opinion, maybe James's. Where does this rank in Kurt Russell's career, do you guys think? And what do you think made this movie fail at the box office? Setbacks that we've talked about aside.
Expectations. I think people were kind of expecting like a big action film, like you guys were talking about, maybe a little bit more grander, and it didn't come out that way. So word of mouth might have hurt it a little bit.
I think for his career, I mean, Kurt Russell's been so many goddamn, like Tombstone is probably up there for me. So this is still probably middle of the pack for me, just because I've seen a lot of Kurt Russell films. Oh, The Thing, too. Jesus, yeah,
yes,
good God,
so
right?
good, yeah.
Like he's been in some iconic roles, and honestly, I don't know why it fell, because I was like 9 years old when this came out. So obviously, if I didn't know about it, I mean, I honestly probably really liked this movie when I was a kid. So
yeah,
I don't know. Probably like you said, there's probably bad. I mean, the plot itself is a little probably too simple, and probably got trashed. And honestly, I don't know what else released during this time period. Maybe it got jammed up with other releases too. So, I mean, they released it like a week.
It was up against what, Godzilla 98?
Yeah, and I mean, what did they released it a week before Halloween? I mean, not the greatest time to release an action film, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, there's
a lot of directors.
Halloween H2O era.
Apparently, the script had been bouncing around for like a good decade or so. So there was a lot
he
of people
wrote it in like the
attached to this
80s.
Yeah.
So
they definitely wanted to make this movie. They just
if they had called this Blade Runner Soldier, I guarantee it would have done better.
Yeah,
yeah,
would have been another
maybe if they
classic.
connected. Yeah, because they only really had that one little cameo of the flying car from Blade Runner. To connect
There's that, and then on his bio, 2 of the battles he did. That's
right.
Roy called out those, and then like Nabil was saying, the guys are like earlier, later versions of the replicants, but it's only loosely based, but it's theoretically in the same universe.
So with that, what are your guys' overall ratings, and do you think this deserves to be preserved inside the action vault? Is this worth remembering? Is it vault worthy, or should you leave it outside to rot? We'll start with Mikey.
I give this one 3 stars. I think it's worth preserving. It was still a fun movie, even though it had some basic plot and that kind of stuff. So yeah, I still enjoyed it. It was still okay. So toss it in the vault. Let's do it.
All right.
Seal it up.
Nabil, what about you?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I definitely would give it 3.5 stars. It's a film. It's a good action flick. It is late 90s. I bet you would have done better even if it was like a later 80s film, but maybe not looked as well as it did. But it's a worthy watch, and just to see Kurt Russell do a different action role that he's done before. I mean, he like James has said multiple times, he's had like 5 lines, so he doesn't really talk. It's all the face, and he earned that $20 million body on that screen. So just for that alone, it's worth watching.
James, what about you?
Oh, definitely vault worthy. You know what? I had it 3.5. I'm giving it 4. I had a blast watching this guy. Honestly, I might rewatch this movie sometime in the near future. Honestly, so this is one of those movies where
might get on 4K.
Nice popcorn flick. Honestly, so I thought I had a blast. Literally,
awesome. I really enjoyed this one too. I'm definitely going to watch it again. I give it 3.5 stars. I think that it definitely deserves to be protected inside the action vault. Again, like thematically, I think it works. The action works, even though it's simple. The storyline is simple, but hey, it's like James said, you can kick back, eat some popcorn, and enjoy it for what it is. So it's worth remembering. Let's keep it in the vault. The vault has spoken.
All right. And then one thing I do want to bring up, we're going to have a little section at the end. I'll do this part, the loadout. So if you're going to battle, you can only take one thing from this movie. What is it? Marco, you go start it off since you hosted.
Oh, man. I'll take the skill. His amazing badassery fighting skills, because he was able to just murk a super engineered soldier.
24 of them.
Yep. What about you, Nabil?
With his bare hands.
I would take a weapon. I take the minigun. That part where he comes out of the water and just like mows down a whole bunch of people with that miniature. Yeah.
What about you, Mikey?
I'll take Sandra.
Okay. Okay.
Keep that. Keep it.
That's all I need.
You're allowed to.
No, I'll take the rocket launcher. I love that it just like kind of puts it in view and then it gets shot out and it like hits somebody and makes her fly. It is just a nice moment of the movie.
I will take, Kurt Russell's stoicism. So, just his
God damn
few
it.
words, just such a badass guy. So, no, I'm not getting the James vehicle, Marco.
So you would say the vehicle, damn it.
All right, that wraps up our review of Soldier. Now it's time to open the action vault once more and get our next host here, choose our action star and the random movies, 3 random movies to pick from. We are going to do this live so that it's more of a reaction. So let me spin right now. All right. So the host of the next one, it's going to be me, actually, James.
Ooh.
So my action star is Arnold Schwarzenegger. And my 3
Nice.
films I could choose from are Commando, The Running Man, and True Lies.
Oh, 3 good options.
So I will let you guys know which one we use out of those 3 coming up in the following episode. So the choice has been made, but you'll have to tune into next week to find out what entered the action vault. And with that being said, that wraps up episode 228 of the Movie Pals podcast. Marco, let everyone know how they can keep up with us.
You can find us on every major podcast platform, so follow and listen wherever you like. For links to all our socials and more, head over to linktree/moviepalspod. That's linktr.ee/moviepalspod. And don't forget to smash that subscribe button so you don't get burned on the next episode.
And check us out on TikTok at Movie Pals Pod for sneak peeks, quick takes, and behind-the-scene clips.
And coming up next, episode 229, where we will be reviewing James's Action Vault movie, as well as Christopher Nolan's adaptation of The Odyssey.
Thank you. And if you enjoyed this episode, drop us a rating and share it with a friend. It helps us out a lot. Thank you for listening. This is the Movie Pals signing out.